So, Laura, have you recovered from the emotional roller coaster that was this week at the General Assembly?
Stacy, let me tell you, it was worse than being in a relationship. I mean, the General Assembly this week, y'all, it really was a roller coaster, and they have concluded their work for the 2024 short session. Both chambers agreed to an adjournment resolution, and they did not pass a continuing budget, but we are on a continuing resolution in North Carolina, so state government will still continue. However, there are a couple pieces of legislation that North Carolina Farm Bureau advocated for, and we're going to tell you about those today.
Yeah, so we mentioned the emotional roller coaster. That tends to happen in our line of work. As of Wednesday, we didn't have a great outlook on a lot of our legislative priorities, but things, as they tend to do, come together at the last minute, and a couple bills passed that had the bulk of our legislative priorities in them, and so those are headed to the governor. One of those is the conference committee report for the North Carolina Farm Act of 2024. So we've obviously reported on that in the past. It has a number of our legislative priorities, and so we won't rehash those. But one thing that was added in the conference report was an extension of the 2019 animal waste general permit. That is a 2-year extension, and that essentially just allows time for the litigation that's ongoing around that permit renewal to play out. It's currently awaiting consideration by the North Carolina Supreme Court.
Right, and the other piece of legislation that we were tracking and is now headed to the governor is the Regulatory Reform Act, which is Senate Bill 607. We advocated for a couple of aquaculture provisions via an amendment in the bill, and it ultimately ended up in the final version and passed, and again, we'll see what the governor does with that.
So these bills cleared both the House and the Senate right at the last minute. The Farm Act actually had a unanimous vote in both chambers, which is kind of unheard of. So
it might have been unheard of, actually.
we think so. We're not historians, but definitely in recent memory. So we'll wait to see what the governor does with those. Of course, he has the option to sign them or veto them or allow them to become law without signature. So we'll report back on what happens with those. And this is probably going to be the last time that you hear from us, at least on video, because like Laura said, the business has kind of wound down. So hope everyone is doing well out there, and we'll keep you posted on any developments at the General Assembly.
Y'all take care.